Welcome to A Pass Around Politics. My name is Garrett Eckert, where a moral wrong is never politically right. And here's a story involving a political commentator named Tomi Lahren that perfectly illustrates how someone who holds that something's morally wrong, but they're saying it is politically right. And she was recently on The View, and they asked her about abortion, and she said that she was pro-choice. Now earlier, but this is her actual view of abortion, is quite strong language. She refers to it as straight-up baby killers, those that are pro-choicers, and that it's a murdering of a fetus. So it's very odd that one would associate themselves with a group that she herself refers to as baby killers. This is the contradiction. Let's take a look at what she had to say on The View. She said, "I am pro-choice, and here's why. I am constitutional, someone that loves the Constitution." Not grammatically correct, but she's on national TV. We'll cut her some slack. Now, on the constitutional part, technically, yes, anything that the Supreme Court rules on, a majority of them, 5 out of 9, is considered constitutional. Is it actually drawn from the Constitution? Not necessarily so. They can rule any way they want, and oftentimes they do, and there's nothing in our Constitution about a right to abortion, and this is something they kind of piece together on the basis of privacy. There could be a chance that if we ever get 5 out of 9 conservative justices on the court, then that ruling may be overturned. But let's just say it is good law. Does that mean that we should be in favor of the right to abortion? Let's just say it was just spelled out in our Constitution. Or should we do as we did with slavery and voting for blacks and women, where we added an amendment to help improve our laws over how they were originated? Our founders even, that's why we have the amendment process, because we recognize there's room for improvement. So even if you hold to a constitutional stance, it still doesn't justify holding this position. Let's continue. She says, "I am someone who is for limited government." Key word here would be limited. It's not no government, it is limited government. And the places where the government is most apt or most appropriate for them to act is in law. We don't want private citizens determining who and who cannot be murdered or killed and this type of thing. That's best held by or done by government. She continues, "So I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say that I'm for limited government, but I think that the government should decide what women do with their bodies." So here we have the pro-choice red herring about what women are doing with their bodies. What about the woman that's in her body? Because it is not part of her body. It is actually another person in her body. And so it isn't right for someone in the privacy within their body to take another person's life. That's what the Supreme Court has said. That doesn't make it right. And here she is. This is what's truly, she says it's hypocrite. Yes, it is. This is what's hypocritical oftentimes about libertarianism, is holding something that is morally wrong, but then you are going to allow it. And what's hypocritical about that is, hey, do you want somebody murdering you? No, you don't. Then don't advocate that it's okay for someone else to do it. If you don't want somebody selling your kids drugs, don't say, well, I don't want someone doing that to my kids, but I'm going to give somebody else the liberty to do that. No, I don't want anyone in my family raped. I'm going to give somebody the liberty to do that if that's what they choose to do. And if someone chooses to murder their own child within their womb, well, that's not something I would do, but I'm going to let someone else do that. The whole problem here is if you want a morally good society, you can't have that and have morally or immoral policies. Such is the case on this issue that I can't even pray for God to bless America. How can I pray for Him to bless America when we are murdering our own children? You know, when we read in the Bible about how Canaanite cultures and others used to sacrifice their children, and we just look at that appallingly. Well, really, how are we any different? Abortion needs to be opposed on every front by every conservative, and there's no excuse for it. Thanks for watching.